Welcome to the Lost Caravan RPG, where we do one-shots, miniseries, and long-running campaigns. If it's a TTRPG, you'll likely find it here. I am Jason Fryer, writer, game designer, and general curmudgeon. You can find me at Otterpoet on the interwebs. And tonight, we are playing episode 7 of With Blood Dipped Wings, the Cult Divinity Lost campaign. If you'd like to catch up on the other episodes, or our numerous other streams, you can find them right here on this YouTube channel. You can also check out our community at lostcaravanrpg.com. With Blood Dipped Wings is a dark tale that explores mature themes, delving into Gnostic horror and personal trauma. And we do mean dark, especially this evening. So if this is not your cup of blood, do feel free to give this story a pass. With that, I'd like to go around and let the players introduce themselves and tell us who they are going to be playing tonight. I'd like to start with Dido, if I can. I'll go up to Benji.
Hi, I'm Benji, and tonight I'll be playing everybody's favorite doll, Brooks Haverly. And he just had a wonderful date with Alice, so, I'm sure everything's going to be just fine.
How about over to Mir?
Hey y'all, I'm Mir. I am playing Kate Smith, the Avenger, or is it actually Kate? Is Kate Kate? Does she know if she's Kate? She has no idea. So, that's where we're at.
And finally, down to JD.
Hey, I am JD. Tonight I am playing Lucas Wolf, the Descendant, and he is getting more and more memories from childhood that he really wishes he wasn't, and much more information about himself than he ever really wanted. But you know what? This is healing? Question mark.
It's always healing. It's like scars. So, when we last saw our characters, they were far from home, be that for good or ill. Their escape on the American highways become one of nightmares, blood, and screams. Original destination, Chicago, I'm pretty sure is now a long forgotten dream. Survival is probably their best option at this point. Because no matter how far they get away from home, home always lives inside them, and they can never truly leave it. As if it's like an infection, defining their past and shaping their future, more so than ever. Somewhere on the dust-choked plains of western Texas, they discovered hidden secrets and uncomfortable questions. At the No Name Motel, they found a temporary sanctuary from these dark truths, may that even now still lurked just beneath the surface, quite literally in some cases. They'd also learned that the consequences of their actions, the price of that unknowable benefactor that is constantly calling upon them. Blood and bodies on the highway, condemned by their own hands, children orphaned. But even so, somehow they defied and denied ghosts and refused unsettling revelations. They'd found rest and solace even as their bodies and souls betrayed them. So, a slim hope still remains, shared by someone, well, rather something they'd once killed, an angel that had whispered the name of Pelion in the Church of the Black Madonna. The god of the highways had promised they'd reach it unscathed, but truly at what cost? And what would await them in Apellion? Would it be salvation or damnation? Lucas, you hear
Mm-hmm.
that droning chant in your head, disturbing you from your rest. kind of pull the covers instinctively over your head. What you hear are your father's footsteps, drawing ever closer. You kind of peek out, and you are back in your bedroom. That, well, it's not really your bedroom. It's the room your father has allowed you to reside in, with all of its accoutrements, many of which are to remind you of your purpose, of your destiny, of your history. You hear the rap, rap, rap at the door. Your father whispering through the wood. Lucas, it's time to come out. Get your ass out here, you little shit. For some reason, you are not a child. You are a fully grown adult. You've had this dream maybe before? Yes? No?
I think regardless, it feels familiar, and there is a moment, as there always is, as this again just has that familiarity, where Lucas panics in part because as an adult, he has done everything he can to not look like the person his father wanted him to look like. He's grown his hair out long, he lets it hang by his shoulders. He dresses in ripped up jeans and t shirts and flannel. And there's this moment of him starting to reach up, like trying to tie his hair back, trying to make himself look more presentable, and realizing there's no possible way for that to happen.
That bang, bang, bang again. Open the door. Let me in. Let me in, Lucas. Remember your responsibilities. Don't leave me here. You little shit. After all I've given you, you'll deny me?
Lucas moves towards the door. It is instinctive. It is his father commanding that he do this, and that means it's what must be done. But his hand stops as it rests on the doorknob. He doesn't move to open it.
In fact, as you touch the doorknob, you instinctively jerk back because the metal is hot, like fire hot. And now that you're near the door, you can almost smell smoke coming from under the door frame. It's a carnal smell, like a crematorium. Bang, bang, bang again. Let me in. Let me in, Lucas. There's not much time. You need to fulfill your responsibilities.
No. No, I'm not going to do that. I left. Remember, I left.
After all I
I got
did for you,
out.
all I did, I tried to get all of that shit out of you and put it into something else, and still you defy me. What? Why? Why can't you see the glory? Let the glory in, Lucas.
No. I refuse.
You kind of step back and you hit something warm, and you feel these black wings envelop you, and you hear that soothing voice again. She'll take this away. She'll take this away. And you'll be with me. You'll be safe. Just as the door cracks open to let the darkness in. That's probably when you wake up screaming. Eve.
That tracks.
It's Gideon, your brother, correct? He's sitting beside you in the truck as you're driving down the dirt path that you've driven many, many times into the deep, dark woods behind the family home. Your truck bed filled with boxes that have come from Lucas's family. All you remember is being told it's stuff that needs to be thrown away, buried deep. For some reason, you've been doing a lot of these trips of late. Come on. It's Eve. It's not like this is, exactly above board. It's not like I can get a backhoe out there. Come on. Really? For who? Well, okay. Well, I mean, you really need to get out more. I mean, I could. Why do you keep doing this for him? For them? I know. I know our parents keep on saying, "Oh, it's family responsibilities," but really, are we getting paid enough for this shit? I don't know, Eve. I just, I just don't like what this has been doing to us. You know what I mean? I mean, what the hell? I mean, what the hell are we putting out there? And what would Lucas's dad say? That's true. That tracks. Excuse me? Fuck you. Oh, la 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 la. Jeez. Where do you get this mouth? Well, yeah, I guess some good can rub off of him. You kind of come down into the valley. You see the opening in the trees. A lot of the trees here, whatever you've been burying, has kind of made them sickly. So you guess that some of the barrels and some of the boxes may have broken open. Again, you don't want to ask questions. I mean, whatever's coming out of the compound, it could be guns, it could be bodies. You pull up, just barely avoid getting stuck in the mud, and Gideon hops out. This one, there's a bunch of boxes and garbage bags, double layered garbage bags. It smells like roadkill and burnt hair. Is this because of all that survival shit? He starts pulling the bags off. You notice that the whatever's in there is big and bulky and in pieces. He barely gets out of the way. What the fuck, Eve? It hits the ground and rolls. It kind of gets this weird flattening as the pieces settle. I'm not opening that shit. Okay. Oh, I've changed I've changed my mind. Changed my mind. Eve, one of the boxes you hear like nails on the inside. You remember this moment pretty well. It's not just a nightmare, it is an actual event that has been kind of buried deep. But not everything that gets buried stays buried. So when the little hand, this malformed hand, wraps around your wrist, and you feel the slick blood and ichor stinging into your flesh, seeping into you, infecting you. And that's when you wake up, probably screaming. Both of you take one stability. The other two, that's when you hear people screaming in the room.
Jesus.
Kate is like shooting up to her feet, with her knife at the ready.
Are you two okay?
Yeah, something like that. Sorry that I woke you all up.
Better this than other things. And just like climb back under the covers.
Yeah, for the other two, you've actually had a very restful experience. And Kate's reaction is that it is pretty accurate because it just, you don't want to get out from under those warm covers. It's just perfect, which is weird for a hotel. Yeah. As you two kind of get close, you feel it's almost like two magnets repelling one another. It's just like this weird force, like the air gets thick between you.
And I think for Lucas, there was a moment before Eve moved closer where he was actually planning on just getting out of bed and going to move, going to do something, but that thought left his mind when she moved closer. But when he feels that tension, he looks at her and quietly asks, "Should we be doing this, or do you think this is somehow making it worse?" Wait, really? Like a person's hand? My family had you, like, transporting bodies? I mean, I'm not surprised, but you think that might not be a dream. You think that might have been something that actually happened, that this body grabbed you, and that's where the infection or whatever it is comes from. Okay. Okay, I mean, that's something. Eve, God, I wish it didn't feel this way to be close to you. I just, I just want to give you a hug. I know. And I think he actually does just kind of reach up to hug himself, as though he's hugging her.
You hear a soft rap at the front door.
Now what?
Kate'll climb back out and go like with the chain still like connected. Peek the door open to see what's out there.
Howdy, Kate. You see Alice outside. getting late, and I know you probably gotta make some time. But I brought breakfast. Can I bring it in?
I'm gonna turn and look back at the rest of the room. Alice brought breakfast.
Alice, you're an angel.
And then Kate will unlatch the chain and open the door and let Alice in.
She does have a big tray. She kind of wheels it in, looks around, sees kind of the condition of everybody, gives a sad but warm smile. Don't I've made some arrangements. She starts setting plates out, and it looks like a full continental, the bacon, the Texas toast, the eggs, everything, orange juice. I made some arrangements for the kids. They'll be picked up. But you'll probably want to be getting on the road before too long, just so you don't have to answer any questions. Hermes. I think they were out of New York. I think one of them has an aunt. So, well, they both have an aunt. You know what I mean? I'll give this to her, hon. She'll. Your sweet soul. Uh, if you need anything else, I'm just going to put a do not disturb sign outside. And whenever you need to check out, you just check out. I'll come by later.
Thank you, Alice.
She goes to each and every one of you and gives you a hug.
Oh.
Lingering with Brooks. And with Brooks, remember, what's behind you is behind you. What's ahead is ahead. Focus on ahead, because you don't have strength for everything else.
Thank you, Alice.
She lingers for a moment, and then off she goes. Alice is too polite to look.
Agreed.
Seems like our only option.
I want to eat breakfast first.
Well, yeah.
I'll
It is
just start
definitely-
tucking it in.
Yes. For once again, the No Name No Tell is a wonderful sanctuary of food and just basically no demons constantly scratching at your door. So you can heal one stability, all of you.
stability, I'm down.
And if you wish, depending on your character and how you feel, you can take relationship +0 to the no name motel. Because I think I think the relationship is there.
Yeah. At this point.
When you've done and gotten everything ready and you go back outside, Eve's car has once again miraculously healed itself.
Convenient.
No bullet holes, no scratches, no torn up suspension. It's in perfect. There's a map on the front seat.
Let me guess. To Kansas?
To Appelian, Kansas. Yeah. It looks like it's been. There's an actual line going from where you may be up the road, and it's all drawn in crayon. The little words, not bored, are written.
Your fucking hubby's not bored.
Any other preparations? Or are you heading to Appelian, Kansas? Who's being the navigator?
Kate will take that on.
Okay, Kate. As you're following it, you swear that the map changes, as if it's reacting to where you decided to drive. Eve can literally drive in whatever direction she wants. It's invariably drawing you closer and closer to Appelian, Kansas. And that crayon just disappears the farther you get.
Honestly, that makes Kate laugh. Probably the first time she's laughed in a while. She'll pass the map back to those in the back to let them see.
You could do it in a day, but you'll probably reach there at evening. Do you want to stop along the way? Anyone?
Yeah, only for the essentials.
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually you get. You have a full tank. Yeah, eventually you will, but those will be considered. I mean, the general stopping and refilling. Nothing seems to be waiting for you at the gas stations or the truck stops. Just these nameless places and these nameless towns on these nameless roads. Eventually you see what looks like a ocean of green, tall grass, just stretching on in every direction. It just moves and sways like waves. The road itself is cracked, probably from weather. No cars. You see a sign up ahead, Appelian, 5 miles.
There it is.
Brooks is the first one to see it. It looks like a steeple above the green ocean. This black finger, like a rotted finger sticking out of the dirt.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I think I see the church.
You do see the signs pointing. Is it, the picture of a church down a dirt road? The sign itself looks like it's seen better days. A lot of rust, several gunshot holes.
Par for the course.
Heading onto the dirt road. You turn on. It's pretty muddy. Again, the highway itself almost immediately disappears as you go around a slight curve because of that tall green grass. It's almost like being in an alien world. You can feel that grass just kind of calling, as if just walk out into it. So when you finally see it part like the green sea, and you see the squat toad of a building that is the church, you're not sure if it's a blessing or a curse. This building should not be here. It seems more at home somewhere in an old German forgotten village. It's probably from the 12th, 11th century. That kind of architecture, just that brutish, ugly, yet somehow compelling architecture that basically says, I am your God. Worship me or else. The only beautiful thing about it, if it could even be called beautiful, are the stained glass windows depicting scenes that you can't really picture from here. But you're not sure if you really want to get much closer to see what they depict. There are about a dozen abandoned cars and trucks in front of the church. Their windows long since caked with mud and grime, left here to rot. And the front doors, 12 feet tall, huge, dark wood, probably from the Black Woods of Germany, stand open. The church beyond is a black pit. What do you do?
I mean, Kate takes one look at this, like seeing this as it's like the grass opens up. Just, if you build it, they will come.
Apparently.
God. I mean, we came.
Are we parked?
You can park.
It's so cozy and charming. All it needs is a white picket fence.
Indeed.
Once we're parked, Brooks is gonna go back to his suitcase and take out the handgun that Angelo gave him and tuck it into his back waistband and be like, just in case.
Yeah, Kate is fully suited up, which in this case means she's got her, her handgun, she's got her knife, her taser, she's got her like pepper spray, just like tucked into pockets.
And I've just given you a map to scale.
I think Lucas is just standing there outside of the car staring at the church, and more to himself than anyone else, he just says, "This is reminding me why I don't like organized religion. I don't know if I'm able to say that anymore. There's an angel. We've met an angel. I've met an angel. I'm here because of an angel. Can I not like organized religion? I think I'm
I don't.
having a
I
crisis
don't.
of faith right now."
Lucas. Breathe. Breathe. You can like or not like or believe in or not believe in, whatever you want.
We're making deals with things. I'm not sure that's entirely true, Brooks.
Yeah, but maybe it
Seems like you
doesn't
have
have
to
to be.
believe for that.
Maybe you have to believe, but you don't have to believe all of their stories.
I don't think religion has to be organized for the god to exist.
This is possibly true.
I'm gonna hold on to that, Kate. I'm gonna hold on to that. Thank you.
Just mark that down as my one wisdom. That's what I got.
Sounds good to me. Yep, it feels hefty.
Is the trunk just a trunk?
Yes, the trunk is just the
Okay.
trunk. Yeah, hand comes out. Here you go.
Shunk.
Well, shall we see why they sent us here?
Well,
The sun goes behind the steeple, casting you in the shadow. I need all of you to keep it together.
"18."
15.
12.
12. Okay.
Do you have anything left?
Here's what happens. As the shadow passes over the two, Kate and Lucas, you feel a shiver, an instinctive shiver, as if you are alone, that you have been cast out, that you are no longer with the people that you're supposed to be with. It's this hollow feeling, but it passes. That feeling drives into Brooks like a worm crawling under his skin. You were abandoned by your family. You were given up. You were just this thing for them to get forward. Do you really have a family anymore? Can you even call yourself a person when you're this disconnected? You can take -1 stability, or it can haunt you. The same.
I'll take -1 stability.
Eve, in that shadow, you instantly get the sensation that Gideon is watching you. Not the Gideon, the smiling, laughing Gideon, but the Gideon that's still nailed to a tree, alive when he should be long, long dead, suffering. And you failed him. You put him in this place. always be there. And you get to carry on because you've abandoned your family. And then you're back into the light. How does that affect you? Would that be a -2 or a -4? How life-changing. Okay. So when the light returns, you feel that emptiness. And somehow that church calls to each of you in its own way, as if saying, "Come to me. I can take your pain away."
Don't like that. Well, we going in? Lucas, you want to lead the way since this is your shindig?
Yeah, I can lead the way. Maybe don't pull out all of those weapons until we see what's inside.
Fair enough.
You head up towards the front doors, which open up into that foyer area, which is still part of the steeple as well. Somehow the outside world fades again. That sensation that you've stepped into sacred space, more so than just being in a church. This is a profane place. There is a heavy weight. You can see some light off in the distance on those from around different corners, and someone has lit candles. They're still burning everywhere. The entire place smells of that burning wax and those thick, heavy incense. This is not your evangelical church. This is the church, the one that has been here since mankind started, raised up. This is the profane place that has shaped entire generations, entire centuries. So when I say you walk on hallowed ground, I am not using hyperbole.
I think Lucas takes a moment just to absorb all of that and then just calls out, "Hello?"
Lucas's voice sounds infinitely louder. Maybe it's just the way the architecture is set up, but it resonates throughout the building. And then you kind of hear music off in the distance. Or is it music? Maybe it's singing? Like those old Gregorian chants.
Lucas is going to step forward to see if as he moves in the direction he thinks the singing is coming from, if it starts to get louder or clearer. But I think for him, he's drawn inexorably towards that because it feels so different than his father and that chanting and everything that came along with it. Like he can hear and feel that difference, and he wants to move closer to this. It doesn't repel him the way that always did.
Anyone else?
I'm sticking by Lucas.
Same. Same.
Lucas, you head down one of the corridors, heading towards the chapel itself. The chanting resonates throughout the building from different locations, from different voices. Here and there, you hear weeping. Sometimes you hear prayers. And there are candles everywhere on different surfaces and different candelabras, and there's some in vestibules. You don't recognize a lot of these items unless you're a real history buff. The air itself is getting a lot thicker, especially for Eve. Eve is beginning to choke on these incense. They're getting into your lungs like acid and smoke. You're not supposed to be in this place. Whatever lives in you now is repulsed by this place. Okay. I'm going to need you to keep it together again. This is just a standard roll. You're not actually going to lose anything. It's just to basically force yourself further through. You almost bolt. Everybody else sees it. Eve is going to instinctively run from this place unless somebody prevents her.
I'll go to stop her.
Eve, there's somebody in front of you. Their face is monstrous. It's all twisted and gnarled. You can't really hear what they're saying to you. All you know is that you can't be in this place. You cannot be in this place.
Kate's seeing this, and she's gonna come over and help Brooks.
All right.
And like, hey, Eve, like try to like
Yeah.
get her attention.
We're-
What's wrong? Like, get her to use her words.
Yeah, we're here for Lucas. Remember, eye on the prize. Eye on the prize.
How far do you want to get? Do you want to engage in combat, Eve? Okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there. It's okay.
Brooks, you can try to influence another.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to do that.
Because otherwise, Eve is probably going to clock you.
Yeah. I'm bad at math. 12, 15.
15.
Hey.
Okay.
I think I'm like, Eve, 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 look at me. Look at this face. Look at this beautiful face. You're here to help your best friend. We are so close to saving everybody, saving you. We're right there.
The face is Brooks. That monster is your friend. Maybe even your families? I don't know how Eve feels about that. Are these people your family, Eve? That word in this sacred space becomes like a chant. This is your community. These are your brothers and your sisters. These are your blood. These are your people.
Yeah, that's right. It is not the boss of you. You want to hold my hand? Hold me and just squeeze it however bad it hurts.
Start moving further into the building. By Lucas, you see things like kind of scattered about. You're not sure if it's by design or just circumstance, but they seem to be personal items. There's a photo album of a newlywed couple just being married. There's several photographs, black and white, of uh, old families standing together, looking proud. There's a baby rattle under one of the corners. Little, what's a little disconcerting is there's lines of baby teeth, probably collected by some loving mother posing as the tooth fairy. All these little memories, all these little pieces are on altars and on the floor, given up to whatever inhabits this space. How do you all react to seeing this? Seeing these happy families?
Can't relate.
That was another life.
Does it fill you with despair, longing, jealousy?
A little jealous.
Is
Grief. I think grief is the word for what Lucas feels. Especially
indifference
the
an
teeth.
option?
The idea of a mother taking that, taking those and being there, never something he experienced.
Yeah, and indifference can definitely be it. Although it still needles at you.
Yeah, it needles, but I think Brooks just reminds himself that he found his own family.
And the moment you think on that, that gives you this like rush of joy that you were connected to something you connected to these people around you?
Now I am, yeah. And Alice.
Standing beside Brooks, it does feel kind of like, that signpost, that one place that you can focus on. And the more you get closer towards the chapel, the more you come at peace, because at least your family is here. Lucas, up ahead, you see an old man, ancient, just folded over because his back is so brittle. He's wearing what look like friar's clothes. The rope, swinging an incense container, just filling the space with that sweet, acrid smoke, slowly chanting to himself. And it's so strange because one of this stained glass windows is cracked, and a perfect ray of light falls upon this man in his solitude, standing vigil over this place.
Lucas approaches him and asks, "May I help?"
The man pauses in his chanting and turns around. It's this old face, skin like parchment, worn by years and toil. This is a man that's seen and experienced every hardship. For a second, he speaks to you in Latin. At least you assume it's Latin. But as the longer he talks, the more you begin to recognize the words, as if this space is connecting the two of you. Sorry, my son, what did you say?
May I help you?
Oh, you're a good boy. I am tired of praying alone. Will you pray with me, my son? Are you here to see the mother?
I believe I am, yes. And it would be my honor to pray beside you.
His head leans forward and reaches out with his wizened hand, trying to touch your cheek. Do you allow it?
Lucas instinctively flinches, but I don't think pulls away.
The hands are calloused, but unlike your father's hands, which were always the touch was always something to be recoiling from. This is a very warm, welcoming sensation. For an instant, you see this man's past. He is not from your time. You see him toiling in the fields of Mother Russia. You see him at one point fighting against the Cossacks. You see him watching his family burned. And yet, praying to God and the Mother for purpose, for reasons of why he must suffer this horrible loss, and finding some kind of faith in that. And that is why he's here. touch, the treat. You are blessed by the mother, aren't you? This is tears start to form in his eyes. You have come, haven't you? You have finally come, my son.
Yes, I don't know what all of this means, but if I can help, I want to help.
Companions, they are pilgrims too.
Yes, of a sword. These are my family.
Of course, it is good to have family. Ah, sorry. If someone could help me kneel before the goddess. My knees are bad.
Lucas offers his assistance.
He gets down with your assistance. He gets down on one hand on the pew, and once again begins to pray in Latin. For the rest of you, as he begins to pray, the smoke that has been covering everything in a haze begins to part, and you see how vast this cathedral is. Impossibly large. Pews upon pews, columns upon columns. There are various icons of the different religions, ancient religions. There's crucifixions, there's uh, saints that you don't recognize, some with human heads, some with animal heads. And the longer you look, the more you can kind of see other people here praying. They fade in and out as if lost in time. And then the man beside you, he fades as well. And that chanting continues on in the distance.
And Lucas slowly straightens up, and when he turns back to you, you can see that there are tears streaking his face. I don't know what all of this means, but I've never seen faith like this. Faith that is there to make sense of the suffering, not cause the suffering.
How does this resonate with the rest of you? Is this something to be accepted or denied?
Brooks isn't quite there yet.
Same. For Kate having a more conventional upbringing, I think the idea that religion is there to make sense of suffering is something that doesn't, like, that just makes sense to her, that people would seek religion for that. Again, more conventional upbringing, less cults. But yeah, this to her feels on the same level as basically everything else they've been dealing with, in terms of like, yeah, that's weird. Yep, can't explain that. So she's not at the level of accepting or denying anything right now. She's along for the ride.
Yeah.
Eve?
I think for
Oh,
I was just going to say, I think for Brooks, it's also a question of, is he truly accepted here for who he is, or would he still be asked to change in some way? And until he knows the answer to that, there's no way he could even begin to think about accepting something like this.
Eve. All right. As you step forward, you can continue passing pew after pew. I mean, there could be thousands of people in this chamber. The stained glass windows, now that you can see them, seem to depict places in time that did not exist or slightly tweaked, events that just don't make sense. Maybe almost like a whitewashing of the Crusades in some cases. They're all built to instill a sense of community. That's the word that just keeps on resonating and seeping into you. Community, family, togetherness, oneness. Brooks, as you were thinking that thought that you just mentioned, somebody comes out of a doorway that wasn't really there. They look to be dressed very sharply, like an the 80s kind of outfit, that hideous sky blue with the white tie. Probably would be on on TV at 3 a.m, declaring their their hatred of America that has lost its faith, and they just stand there staring straight at you accusingly. Their fists are tightened as if they're just restraining themselves.
Hey, take a picture. It'll last longer.
You should be here. You should be here.
Kate's
Not one of
Kate's
you.
gonna s- Kate's gonna step up next to Brooks. Show of solidarity.
So is Lucas.
Now that there's 4 of you, there's more of you than him. He gets his. It's not just fear or doubt. It's almost like stark terror. He recoils. No, I'm right. I've done everything right. I gave myself there. I gave myself everything I did. What? How could you be like this? How could you?
Jealous?
I don't think you're meant to be here.
No. I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to be here. Given everything. He falls down to his knees. That doorway, you hear soft chitness noises, hungry noises, as if something has just caught the scent of blood. It only makes the guy begin to tremble more. No. Why am I alone? Why am I alone? I can't be alone here. Not here. What's everyone doing?
You sure you did everything right?
I don't think you're welcome here.
He takes those words, like Lucas's words, like a blow, like he's been slapped, and starts crawling back towards the door, where you see 1,000 eyes light up, with hundreds of little grins, with needled teeth, waiting for him to crawl back into the dark. Do you stop him? Or is your family strong enough without this member?
We're strong enough without this member.
When he crawls into the dark, there's silence, and then screams. Hideous, blood-curdling screams and pleas. But somehow they fade off of you. You don't need to listen to this. They are not of you. You are of the body. They are not. Why concern yourself of anything or anyone outside of you and yours? And you advance. There are now tables filled with food up ahead. Some kind of pagan feast or an offering to the gods. You can hear music playing. It's like being at a Renaissance fair, but you know that you're definitely not at a Renaissance fair. you, you can almost smell, the autumn leaves in the distance, the fires. There's no one here at the tables. That kind of fills you with this ache that you should be partaking of this, but there should be other people sharing. Do you want to share this bounty? Do you want to be part of the community that has given up this harvest? Anyone?
Kate's starting to feel real weird about all of this, like, this sense of like belonging and not belonging and defining of such. And so she's kind of mentally like not making decisions here.
Anyone else?
So there are some people sharing food, as you said?
It looks like somebody has set this up, but there's nobody else here. It's just the four of you. But you sense their absence. It's almost like you can't partake unless they are here. Do you want to share this bounty?
I think Brooks does.
Is there anyone specific that you want or consider to be worthy of sharing this with you?
Brooks's first thought is of Alice. that if someone deserves to partake of a beautiful feast, it would be someone like Alice.
Again, the room kind of shimmers. At one of the tables, you see that young Alice, the one that you saw curled up on the bed in the hotel, that ghost Alice, crying, sitting at the table, and gestures for you to sit.
I'll take a seat next to her.
Lucas?
I think for Lucas, he wants to share, but he also is remembering that they are on a clock. And so he is not sure that there is the time to slow down and share this, but he wants to open the door for others who do have the time to sit and enjoy this bounty, even if he may not be able to in this moment because he needs to keep moving.
As you kind of do that, these faceless figures, men and women and children, begin to fill the seats. You sense that they are part of you, that they are distant relatives, maybe, or friends that have been lost. But having them there is a comfort to you. Eve, do you wish to partake, and is there anybody that you'd partake with? Those faces begin to appear, waiting for you to sit and join them. Even with your sins that are now inside you, you may find forgiveness here, acceptance. Back to Kate. Is there anybody that you wish to sit with?
Well, the person she would have thought about is no longer a safe person anymore for her.
How does that make you feel, Kate? I mean, you were family with them once.
Yeah, the big problem here now is that Kate hasn't belonged anywhere for a long time. And Zed was the closest she had gotten since, learning about the rest of the world. Learning about, reality. And so she's in this strange place of one feeling like she has a place with this group, but also there's just kind of this like in the back of her brain, just kind of, but if she took the offer from Zed, he'd belong. which is part of why she's resisting here, is because it's like that sense of like wanting to belong is incredibly tempting, and she's afraid of that.
Strangely enough, you see 3 other figures sitting at the table. Again, they're faceless because you're not really sure who they are or what they are to you. Maybe they were something very important to someone else. Mother, father, and a sister. Definitely a sister. She was the one that gave you the camera. And with that realization, you feel both repelled and drawn to the table. And the 4 of you see the back of the cathedral beginning to rupture silently, unfolding like a flower. You are seeing beyond this world into the truth of this place. In a vast cyclopean tower surrounded by angels that are coming to collect. And we'll call it there for the moment. We'll take a quick break. So hopefully everybody will come back and find out what happens next. Thank you so much. Hello, and welcome back to With Blood Dipped Wings, a KULT Divinity Lost Actual play, where we have found ourselves deep within the heart of the Church of the Black Madonna. A connection to a place that might not even be this world anymore. You are now sitting or standing near this table as the top of the roof is peeled back, revealed a tower that just your mind cannot wrap itself around the size of it. It is not a tower, it is a world unto itself. It is vast, tall, wreathed in black clouds and lightning. And around it are all these dots, which you soon realize are angels that are now descending like crows towards the table in this church. What do you do?
Kate's real tempted to pull out that razor sharp angel feather as like defense. She's not going to, but she's very tempted to. This feels like she's about to be lunch.
Yeah, is the movement aggressive? Is the question that I have. Like, does it feel like they're coming down to take a look at us, or as you describe them as crows, does it feel like they are coming down to feast on us?
You know what? How about observe a situation?
I would love to.
Can I also make that roll?
That is a
Yeah.
15.
Okay.
That is it's perception. Burp, 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 burp. That is a 14.
All right. Lucas, you can ask 2 questions. Kate, you can ask 1. Do you need me to list them out?
I'm looking
I
at him.
do.
Okay. They are: what is the best way through this? What currently poses the biggest threat? What can I use to my advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What is being hidden from me? And what seems strange about this?
That last one, just
Yeah.
for the shit of it.
I mean, I think Lucas's first question has to be what currently poses the biggest threat.
It's an odd thing, but just basically from what you've been gathering and experiencing in this church, the greatest threat is not being part of the community. If you are outside the community, you are in the darkness. And if you're in the darkness will take you. You still kind of remember that guy's face just before he retreated from you.
What is being hidden from me?
The only thing that you can really say is being hidden from you is the absolute truth of this place. That there is something beneath that lovely sense of community. That even though it is both a boon and a blessing, there is a danger here. You're not sure what that danger is yet, but it is definitely being obscured beneath all this pageantry.
I want to ask, what should I be on the lookout for?
If you're looking around this place, you would probably try to find somebody or something that is considered an elder and bond yourself with that. Because once you're part of that community, it will protect you.
Okay, I'm gonna be looking, like, scanning for something like that then.
As the murder of crows descends upon you, the entire chamber fills with the sound of their wings. It is both a wonder and a torment because literally the sky begins to rain with the blood on their wings, the dander, and the age. Feathers rain down, sticking to your flesh, and this darkness descends upon you. And that rush, 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 this penetrating sound, almost deafening. And it just keeps, it's like being inside of a train tunnel. The candles start going out because of the air displacement. Tables start to get darker and darker. What do you all do?
I'm grabbing for the group to keep us all together. Even if that includes yanking
Yep.
Brooks out of his seat and up to us.
Yeah. We need to present a unified front. That's how we dealt with, well, everything so far.
As the candles all go out and your friends and family that were sitting there disappear into the darkness, you continue to hear those wings and feel the blood from countless wars, countless slaughters. Because what weapon does God use against the world but angels? And these angels are ancient. But somehow, that four of you, that connection, that touch, it almost imbues you with light. do you focus on that light, that community, that family and bond?
100%.
Your light, this shared experience, the shared love, dare I say, blooms, becomes this pale moonlight of silver, pushing back the dark. And you find yourselves in a field of ruins, some collapsed church. It's probably forgotten the name of the saint that was devoted to. The cool air surrounds you, binds you together. Beyond the ruins, you can see the darkness of some ancient forest that has not seen the touch of man yet. This is an ancient place, and yet somehow it is an eternal place existing in all times. Because this is where man has cut away the dark woods, tamed the beasts, and marked this space as sacred. And sitting upon an altar that should have crumbled ages ago, eons ago, is your angel, smiling. She unfurls her wings behind her, radiant. You found your way home.
Told you it was an angel.
Welcome to the Mother's bosom, the true church of the Black Madonna. Are you ready to do what is needing to be done?
May I ask what is to be done before I agree to it?
You must purify the evil from this world. An evil that lives in all of you, especially you, Lucas. An evil that has corrupted this place, tainted so many lives, and even now in death, it still corrupts.
What needs to happen to be purified? And Lucas's voice catches on that word because that's a little far too reminiscent of his father and his talk of purity.
And what's the result?
You actually asking that aloud to her? You will prevent wars. Lucas was a vessel of hate and pain. He was meant to share that with the world. His father wished to bring the Archon Netzach into reality. Now, your world, your version of it. He would have turned the world to cinders in his name, in his glory. Now you have a chance to create peace. That has lived in your heart for so long, hasn't it? The desire to do what is right.
I just want to be able to help people. I don't want to hurt them.
Her luminous eyes fall upon Eve. There is a restrained venom or repulsion. Your heart is large, but this one is touched by a death angel. Sarah, the raven of the battlefield. She is your mirror. You will be consumed by the desire not for victory or glory, but just to kill. It represents war without end, without purpose. The child crushed beneath the rubble, the mother weeping for her son, only to be crushed beneath a tank, and the laughter of cruel men. That taint lives within you, pulses within you. To be honest, I don't even know how you are here. The same be said for the other one, the one that wears the sheep's skin. Are you just trying to escape? Or do you truly wish to live a life of peace? Even as you try to harm the world for all the harms inflicted upon you. She looks directly at Kate, waiting, her wings fluttering restlessly.
I don't want to be a jackal.
But you are. You always were. But you saved me. I saw that. You saved me from your own. I am puzzled. Do you reject what lies beneath the skin?
I don't want it. I said that.
Do you even truly know what that is? Fury.
Does that grate in the same way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kate flinches at that.
Hops off of the altar and beelines towards Brooks. And you, vessel, what do you desire? You perplex me the most.
I'm just trying to figure out where I belong now.
You have consumed so many sins, so many doubts, so much anguish. Will you allow that to define you or inspire
Inspire sounds pretty sexy.
you? She doesn't smile. Oh, I need you to roll something.
Okay.
Because this is technically the first time you've met her.
This is true. Object of desire?
Yes.
Do I add anything to that, or?
One second, I gotta bring that up. Where's my character sheet? Sorry, my Adobe crashed.
I love that.
There we
Well, okay. In that case, it's an 8.
go. Again, a strong desire is awakened in one or several people. I get 3 whole. She cocks her head, and the wings do that fluttering bit again. She steps forward. It takes your face in her hands. You can feel the nails against your skin, almost like a kiss. Yes, you are touched. You are blessed. Maybe not by my God, another. How did you survive so long? For that alone, yes, you belong with us. Steps away. You are broken and brittle things, all, yet you have ascended above those pains, beyond those scars. You are bound together now in the eye of the Black Madonna. Again, you kind of see in the distance of the night sky that lightning flashes and that vast, vast tower. You realize that the clouds aren't just clouds, those angels circling. And it fills you with that need to be together, to be one, to be a community. You can escape your destinies. You can become much more than you are now, ever were. You must kill your father. Truly kill him. Can you four do that?
What she
I'm
said.
pretty sure he's inside of me, so what exactly would that mean?
You must go to Inferno and find his purgatory, where he is tortured for all eternity before he is reborn. dwells there still and reaches out through you, through your blood. It is why she who smiles wants you, so he might live again and defy what is right. We may be able to remove what is within you, for it is his taint, his hatred, his sins. And for the others, the ignorance of bliss.
And the
You might
price is
find
just killing the guy.
that is all you need to do. Although it is a task, a monumental task. One does not simply walk into hell.
I've been to Ohio.
Oh. No, in my experience, you just kind of find yourself there.
Do you give yourself over to the mother entirely, and she shall give you the way?
If it saves the people that I care about and apparently also saves the world, then yeah, I don't really see much choice.
And you, Fury,
What does it
you
mean to
walk
do
into,
so?
you tempt what is lying within you, especially with your borrowed life. You will save the world and perhaps yourself, but you risk remembering.
And that's it. That's what it means to give myself entirely over to her.
Do you not feel the bonds between you? Imagine that forever. Forever bound in this life and the next. A true family. Is that not something that all people aspire to? To never be alone?
Yeah, but I've also learned to look closely at things that seem to be too good to be true.
Caution is understandable. You do not need to choose now. I can take you from this place, and if you kill your father, end him once and for all, she will know, and she will take you fully into her embrace. And we shall be together again. This she says, maybe to Brooks or Lucas. It's hard to tell. She
Seems
looks over. Yeah, she looks at Eve.
I mean, I never really imagined killing my father. He's he was and apparently still is a terrible, dangerous person who's not only hurt way too many people, but has hurt them through me. I think the world is a better place with him not being there, but that's still a lot to imagine doing to the person who raised you. If you can call it that.
what if we say no? What happens?
You go on with your lives. Lucas is eventually consumed. Eve becomes an abomination. Your companion eventually loses her skin. But you will live in banality.
Can you live with that, Lucas?
No, I can't live with those outcomes. I'm not going to be the instrument of destruction and pain for my father once again. I'm not going to lose Eve. I'm not going to let Kate lose herself, and I just want you to have a normal life. And if this is what it takes to get there, then I guess we're going to hell.
So say you all.
Sounds like one hell of a field trip.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Then it's time to return home. Go back to your father's compound. She comes over to you. Give me your hand. Her talon digs into the flesh. Pain flares as she draws a rune into your palm. It scars almost immediately, and you can see flames beneath it, like radiating up through translucent skin. Place this hand upon his grave. You shall be taken into his purgatory. Once you are there, trust nothing.
Hard for me.
It is memory, it is pain, it is everything that all of you hide within you and shall be used against you. But through her will and your faith, you shall triumph and be reborn. I cannot venture there, though I wish to protect you, but this is all I can do.
Thank you.
She lightly kisses you on the cheek if allowed. We await. Your new home is here. And it shall always be. May you find what you need. She and everything begins to crumble like ash falling away. It gets into your eyes. You recoil. And when you finally can see again, you're back in that church in the middle of some kind of field in Kansas. But now it is an old, abandoned, rundown church where all the items have basically been left to rot. And it's much smaller on the inside.
This tracks.
And Eve is feeling a hell of a lot better.
So it sounds like we're walking into Mordor.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
Sounds like it's time to go home.
Are you headed out to the car?
How long have we been gone this time?
It's hard to tell. The daylight is still up. You're still out. You don't really have a calendar. Your phones are never really working.
Those of us that still have them.
However, the car itself, the elements haven't really touched it. Maybe like one rain and a little dusting. So maybe a day or two. So, do you get inside?
Kate immediately reaches for the bag and a granola bar and just starts.
Once you're inside the car, you can hear that the radio is on and there's white noise.
Entertaining enough for you?
It's so fun. What did it tell you? Did it give you big hugs and kisses? I would. I would. It's so. Oh, well, maybe we can come to an arrangement. Is it good enough? Is it a good tidbit? Perfect. The radio immediately switches to one of those FM rock stations.
You do that.
Yeah, you do wipe some blood from your chin.
You know, we probably could have traded that for a quick ride to where we're going.
Oh, come on. It started with a road trip. Might as well end with a road trip.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to get there too soon.
not sure road trips are allowed to end for us at this point. Well,
What are you doing? And where are you going? Are you going home?
let's go to the Bahamas instead.
You're actually semi enjoying yourselves. The trip is going semi well. Just the typical the trip across the United States back towards the East Coast. Roads seem to be where they're supposed to be. Time seems to be moving where it's supposed to move. Until it isn't. There's a kind of a spark of static from the radio again. And then Lucas can hear the chunk chunk, chunk chunk of the boots on concrete up ahead and behind, closing in. Lucas's phone rings.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Lucas answers.
Which one dies first?
Is there an option where the number is none?
Nephew, I gave you that choice. Now I'm giving you another. Which one dies first? And that's where we'll call it tonight.
As I immediately go to my equipment list and I'm like, okay, what do I got?
So, thank you all for joining us this evening. My deepest thanks to my ever amazing cast. So if you like what you've seen, please feel to join us on our Discord, listed in the text below. It's where we hold casting calls, announce other shows, and generally hang out being giant nerds. We'd love for you to join us. Once again, I want to thank my incredible cast and give each of them an opportunity to tell you who they are and where they are at and what they're doing. Benji?
Hi, I'm Benji. I was playing Brooks Haverly, your doll who seduced an angel. You can find me online everywhere at Chance47. Yeah, can't wait to see what happens in Inferno.
Down to JD.
Hey, I am JD. Tonight I was Lucas Wolf, the Descendant. We're gonna see what choice Lucas makes at the start of the next episode, I suppose. You can find me on the internet at JD Not Jason Dean and whatever projects I'm currently a part of, other than this. And if you like watching me play sad, traumatized, grunge, punk, goth boys, that's like 90% of what I play. So you'll find something to enjoy.
How about Dido? Finally, Mir.
Hey y'all, I'm Mir. You'll find me online at Mir Draws. I was playing Kate Smith tonight, the Avenger, or is it Fury? Who's, got a fun adventure ahead. But she might get to have some, like easy decisions, like kill the evil thing or not. And that's a pretty easy one, so you know, that'll be a relief.
Nice. And I'm Jason Fryer, writer and designer for Cult Divinity Lost. I want to thank you for letting us share this game that means so much to me. You can find me at the interwebs, Otter Poet, basically just screaming into the void and being a great nerd. Have a wonderful evening. Don't forget, community can actually be an abomination in itself. But we'll find out maybe later. So please join us then. Sleep tight.